This news program is proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Now Biscuits.
Unknown masked man leaves 2 dead and 1 critically injured. James Morape urges departmental heads to perform their duties. And Hiri Koyari, First District, to launch its 5-year development plan. Good evening, you're watching National EMTV News. I'm Godwin Eki. Thank you for joining us. A gruesome killing has taken place in the early hours of this morning in front of the Fly River House next to Elamari International School along the Gordons Industrial Area in Port Moresby. 2 men are dead and another is fighting for his life at the Port Moresby General Hospital.
This is the Fly River House at Gordons. Next door is the Elamari International School. It is here in front of the Fly River House that the shooting death of 2 men took place. According to bystanders, an unknown man with mask driving a Mark II drove to where the boys were sitting near Baker Boys. Upon seeing the men come up with a gun, the 3 boys fled, but they did not get far. The 3 boys shot down mercilessly in front of the Fly River House. It is believed 2 of the boys died from bullet wounds instantly, while 1 is in critical condition and is now fighting for his life at the Port Moresby General Hospital. 2 of the boys are from Eastern Highlands Province and the other 1 is from Hela. At this stage, it is unclear the reason behind the shooting, with the gunmen still at large. EMTV News tried to get comments from the police but were unsuccessful. We will keep you up to date on this developing story. Samantha Solomon, National EMTV News.
Yesterday, Papua New Guinea Defence Force personnel damaged monitors worth thousands of kina belonging to the Accident and Emergency Department at the Port Moresby General Hospital. It is understood that they brought a counterpart for medical treatment and did the damage because they were not served quickly. The damage was done while under the influence of alcohol.
These are the pictures of monitors damaged by the BNG Defence personnel yesterday that have gone viral on social media. Today, the Papua New Guinea Defence Force headquarters was quick to release a statement condemning the actions of the soldiers with a call for urgent investigation. According to the statement, PNGDF has been made aware of the incident involving Tranget soldiers at the Port Moresby General Hospital on Sunday, 18th of December 2022. The Chief of PNG Defence Force has ordered an urgent investigation into this matter to ensure those involved are dealt with under the Code of Military Discipline and appropriate action taken to ensure no repetition of such ill-disciplined behavior occurs again. PNGDF has sincerely apologized to the public for the inconvenience caused and the disruption of health services at the Incident and Emergency Department that may have taken place as a result of the incident. Meanwhile, Port Moresby General Hospital CEO Dr. Paki Molumi has confirmed the damages done and will call a press conference during the week to highlight the damages and the actions to be taken. Thomas Sulembari, National EMTV News.
Prime Minister James Morape has urged all the heads of government departments to work hard and effectively to deliver government services to everyone in all parts of the country. When addressing the departmental heads in Port Moresby today, Prime Minister James Morape pointed out the lack of communication and challenged the departmental heads to work in cooperation for a positive change in the country.
The State Function Hall at the National Parliament House was fully packed with few members of Parliament and all the departmental heads. The Prime Minister acknowledged all the departmental heads, reflecting back since 1975, stating that it has not been an easy ride for the country. He stated that for the last 3 years, the government's focus was to grow the economy into 200 billion kina.
Look into the fiscal space we have. We need to have the buffer, the space. to be strong economically and resilient. When we are strong economically, we are able to ensure that we are financing our mandate. Financing our mandate in sectors like health, education, law and order, of course, the enabling infrastructures, all has a cost attached to it. And the cost.
He stressed that one of their key resolutions was to install back the office of Chief Secretary when they went to form the government in Lolowata Highland. He announced to the country this morning that this office is now fully restored and the Secretary for Department of Prime Minister National Executive Council will now take on the full responsibility.
But as we bring and restore the office of Chief Secretary, it comes with an added layer of scrutiny on what new department heads are doing out there in our country. Our country cannot move miles if we as leaders, both elected leaders as well as appointed leaders, if we are not at work.
Marape challenged all the departmental heads that the country won't change if they don't perform their duties. He said it is a privilege for them to be given this opportunity to be in the departmental heads and they have to do what is right for the country as the time is limited. He warned them that lack of reporting is an offense that will lead to termination.
So the office of the Chief Secretary, greater will be scrutiny of your performance because we will restore the requirement of law for you to report back to government by the end of 31st of March every year. Lack of reporting is an offense that will see termination.
Prime Minister stressed that in year 2025, we will celebrate the 50th anniversary. However, he challenged the departmental heads if they have done their best for this country. He challenged everyone in the function room to work hard towards achieving the Vision 2050. Esther Gane, National EMTV News.
APEC House in Port Moresby was packed to capacity this morning as constituents for the newly created Hiri Koyari electorate gathered to witness the launch of the electorate's development plans for the next 5 years. Local member Kit Idihu revealed that Bautama will be the focal point for the development plans in the next 5 years.
The culture and hospitality of the people of the Hiri Koyari was on show today as the member for the electorate Keith Idahu launched a 5-year development plan witnessed by constituents, ward councillors and presidents. In a one-on-one interview after the event, the Hiri Koyari member spoke of Bautama, earmarked to be the centre of development.
And we're going to get cracking right into developing our district office in Bautama. Bautama, we envisage it to be the district hub, district capital, and we will provide, an avenue where service stations should come as a commercial activity will thrive, but the government presence will go in with the district administration, and then we'll have the buying point hub set up over there. And so when the road from 14 Mile to Ilimo opens up also, and that is a project that our counterparts in the city have been flagged and earmarked and is going ahead, it will complement all these developments.
Along with making Bautama a hub of development to ease congestion coming into the sitting member revealed plans earmarked for housing development for staff with the Department of Finance.
We are in discussions and we will be looking at building a few more business, government precincts in Bautama. We will be looking at the treasury facilities, houses to be built out at Bautama also. So that is a discussion we are underway, and I think there's some assurance that this will be projected towards so.
The Hiri Koyari electorate was split from the Kairuku Open electorate by the Marape government before the 2022 election. Prime Minister James Marape said the electorate is special.
Work with you. I asked all other districts. It had to be me to come to this occasion simply because I was the leader. In my time, this district was split. But more importantly, this is the first district where a district plan launched for this country. And from this podium, in this occasion, I just want to ask all other districts, come up with a clear plan that is based in numbers.
Among the announcements made this morning was a 5 million kina deposit by the Finance Department into the district account. The funds will be used to kickstart development plans in the electorate. Rocky Iso, National EMTV News.
The national government and the Asian Development Bank signed a loan agreement for the second phase of the Civil Aviation Development Investment Program in Port Moresby. A loan worth US $171.5 million will be given to run the CADIP 2 program.
According to the Minister for Transport and Civil Aviation, the CADIP Phase 2 is a milestone achievement after many years of discussion that were held between the state, ADB and civil aviation entities in Papua New Guinea. The Phase 2 will help in the upgrading and rehabilitation of the national airports that were not completed during the CADIP 1 program to comply with national and international safety and security standards. Also to upgrade the 4 piloted rural airstrips. These airstrips are Finchafen, Hayfield, Jacquinol Bay and Tapini were selected based on their economic potential. Minister Snowball says importantly this CADIP Phase 2 program is aimed at improving and linking rural airstrips with the major airports, creating business opportunities such as tourism and agriculture, and through the connectivity boosting economic growth and sustainability for our airports. Samantha Solomon, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. You're watching National EMTV News. Election petition by petitioner Peter Yama against Medang Province Governor Ramsey Pariwa was heard before the court today at the Waigani National Court in Port Moresby. The pre-trial conference saw some issues before Justice Joseph Yagi, who presided over the matter.
Few issues were raised before the court. The petitioner, Peter Yama's lawyer, explained that discussions on settlement of agreed and disputed facts were made, where both Governor Pariwa and Yama's lawyer complied too. The second respondent, the Electoral Commission, however, have not filed affidavits before the court and have not signed in the settlement of agreed and disputed facts. The court questioned the Electoral Commission on the delay, stating that allegations were against the Electoral Commission.
Electoral Commission, which they have not done that. They have not filed an affidavit to date, and they have not also settled the statement of agreed and disputed facts.
The court made the decision that costs are to be paid to the petitioner.
Costs against the Electoral Commission on an indemnity basis, just to show that the Electoral Commission should have complied with orders of their court.
Grace Papiali, National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, an application made by Ramsey Pariwa's lawyer to disqualify or withdraw first respondent Peter Yama's lawyer was before the Court of Disputed Returns during hearing for Yama against Medang Governor Ramsey Pariwa and the Electoral Commission.
An application filed by Governor Pariwa's lawyer was addressed before the court. The application was to withdraw the lawyer representing Peter Yama in the election petition. Lawyer representing Governor Pariwa, Martin Combry, explained the application filed and presented before the court today.
Allegation in the motion will still be pursuing it. The allegation is about the petitioner pleading that the first respondent who was making awareness during that time, he made some statements that the petitioner was a governor at that time and was arrested and charged for misapplying funds belonging to Manam Resettlement Authority, totaling 6 million kina. And the petitioner pleaded in the petition that that statement was false. The first respondent, Honorable Ramsey Pariwa, pleaded, deposed to his affidavit, stating that those matters were factual matters that he stated that time. And
the court has directed Combry and his client, the governor for Medang, to take the matter to the Law Society, which Governor Pariwa is intended to do so.
But the court took the different view and advised for parties to take it to the law society, which the governor is intent to do that. He will pursue that at the law society.
Meanwhile, Yama's lawyer said the application was not properly before the court.
Issue was in relation to the application to disqualify me, because they were of the view that I'm a co-accused of the petitioner, Peter Charles Yama, in a matter that was tried some time back before the election. Yeah. But they have failed to tell the court that that matter was dismissed by the committal court.
The matter returns on Friday, the 23rd of December 2022. Grace Papiali, National EMTV News.
Acting National Airport Corporation Managing Director Joseph Tupiri is focused on attending to various issues that have plagued the NAC during his tenure as head of NAC. A major work in progress for Tupiri before his contract expires is to ensure all airports meet the regulatory requirements.
The man tasked to lead the National Airport Corporation for the next 3 months is Joseph Tupiri from the Lai Valley of the Southern Highlands province. Mr. Tupiri is no stranger to the NAC, having worked under former NAC Managing Director Joseph Quintao in reforming the civil aviation sector.
As I said, at the Civil Aviation Authority back in 2010, and we started the reform process with Mr. Quintao, Joseph Quintao. Yeah, we honor him. He's our mentor, you know. And we've pretty much created the 4 state aviation enterprises under the Civil Aviation Act. We amended the Act and we created the organizations.
Before coming back to the NAC and being appointed as acting MD, Mr. Tupiri was content with his lot in life, heading a ministry, unaware of the problems facing the NAC and the Civil Aviation Safety Authority.
Out of nowhere, the government called me to come and help out with NAC. I was reluctant a little bit, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't fighting anybody. I had no vested interest, whatever. So I made sure that I was praying about it. Our team were praying about it and said, still I wasn't sure whether I should come or not.
Mr. Tupiri revealed that during his tenure he will work along with the board and senior management of the NAC, which includes looking at ensuring all airports meet regulatory requirements.
With the government coming in, and now being a bit more transparency in terms of what NAC actually needs, the help that we need from the government, be able to communicate that, and then I believe that we'll be able to resolve some of that, and then make sure that our airports are certified. And then after that, we need to make sure that audit and all that is part of the process of looking at making sure to our compliance and internal corporate governance are in place. I suppose most of it is in place, in fact all of it, at NAC, because a lot of work has been done over the last several years under different MDs.
Meanwhile, the acting MD for NAC has assured stakeholders and the travelling public that it is business as usual for NAC during this peak period of Christmas. Rocky Iso, National EMTV News.
Annan Coffee Cooperative of remote Middle Ramu district in Madang province is one of the few groups that has reached a milestone achievement as it prepares for its maiden coffee export to South Korean market. Cooperative Group Chairman Jerry Abajan said this is a new beginning and a big achievement for the group since its establishment in 2014. According to Cooperative Group Chairman Jerry Amajen, despite the many struggles and hardships over the years, today is a new beginning for Annan Coffee Cooperative Society to sell its coffee out to the overseas market, making a history for all efforts that were put together to achieve the group's objectives to help many remote families. Coffee Industry Corporation Chief Executive Officer Charles Damboy congratulated Annan Coffee Cooperative and told them that to reach this stage was unique and significant. Damboy said he has gone into the area and seen the struggles that farmers face daily, but despite these hardships, they have not given up but persevered, and the results can be seen today. Damboi said just last month another group in Golala in Central Province made their first shipment to Dubai. He said it was very encouraging to see that farmers groups are not only into coffee production but are now moving into exporting as well. He congratulated Annan Coffee Cooperative and all their executives and the hard-working officers and partners behind the scene who continue to assist in good and bad times, which has contributed to their achievement. Damboi has also made a call to representatives from the Medang provincial government, district administration and officers present to get into partnership agreement so that plans towards setting up a dry processing factory can be looked into. Chief Operations Officer Stephen Tamae congratulated Annan Coffee Cooperative and said it was a historic event for the group and the industry. He encouraged other coffee cooperatives to also strive to follow what cooperatives like Annan are doing. Western Highlands farmers based at the Gerehu market in Port Moresby have raised their concern that they need proper markets to sell their produce. These farmers who transport fresh produce from the Highlands to Port Moresby is costly with little benefits due to not having proper market facilities.
City residents in the nation's capital that enjoy the sweet potatoes and fresh produce shipped in from the highlands of Papua New Guinea have little or no knowledge at all on how and what this produce face before reaching the shores of Port Moresby. Western Highlands farmers at Gerehu Market says they spend a lot of money just transporting the produce to Port Moresby. The cost starts from purchasing of fertilizers, labors, bag carriers, truck fares and shipping cost.
Everything is money, money, money. We came all the way to Port Moresby. Now look at this. It's all cargo about sting, potato sting. We make big loss in our farming when it cost too.
Another concern raised is on the cost of shipping. The farmers stated that they spend thousands to ship containers of produce to Port Moresby on their own risk. Most often the produce gets spoiled on the way due to the different schedules of the shipping company.
In Ablo government again providing some shipment long, salim go long rabao long. Kimbe one mabe osem ikat one man lo need long time kagwa tu. Potato tu. Plant all slab em stop but ship company government no providing some ship company long. Karimol kege go slab.
Along the way, these farmers provide small employment opportunities for people who cannot find any jobs at all in the formal economy. These people are the bag carriers who get paid by the farmers for transporting their bags of produce.
Lili katwa ko emlo semeke nongene mo semen benefitim mo se lo magi carriers we also start lo street magi all magi we nogat hope nogat walk mo se start was mobles so lili we atwo ke all land lo place lo Western Islands so semeke nongene mo benefitim plan jo magi to lo lay lo work for carrier.
Chris Bob is a bag carrier based in Gerehu Market who benefits from the farmers by transporting bags of produce. He said it is important the government provide good markets for the farmers.
Online also artwork, one plus artwork, but benefit them all Pavunikixim. But on market dongola, people carriers are looking at plus admol. Kaike big dongola, Kaike big cost one plus 3 to 400 kina, but them sting time also lose now, so sorla miblana payna.
As seen in Gerehu Market at the moment, these sweet potatoes and potatoes have gone rotten due to bad weather and transportation issues faced along the way. The farmer says they will make a big loss due to this situation. Cynthia Maku, National EMTV News.
And now looking at the Nest Fund market report, the Kina closed unchanged at $0.2840 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina is buying $0.2765 US, $0.4095 Australian dollars, $0.2536 euro, 37.22 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York closed, gold is trading higher, coffee closed lower, cocoa closed lower, copra closed lower, palm oil closed lower, crude oil is trading higher, copper closed lower. On the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX 200 is trading lower, and the All Ordinaries is trading lower. National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to National EMTV News. Trukai Industries has donated 3 tons of rice to 3 villages that were affected by drought along Makam District, Morbe Province last Friday. These 3 villages are Kukuk, Waratisian and Mamaringen villages.
Representatives from these villages were pleased to receive Trukai's donation and thanked them for the timely support they have shown to the affected people. Upon receiving the donations, Kukuk village leader Michael Som thanked Trukai Industries for helping the many families during their time of need. Trukai's marketing manager Marian Tom said the company will continue to assist Papua New Guineans during their time of need. Tom further emphasized that through Trukai's social responsibility program, assistance to charity organizations, hospitals and prisons is done through monthly donations of rice and cash. These include agricultural programs to assist local rice farmers. Furthermore, they are committed to helping villages affected by natural disasters. Grace Papiali, National EMTV News.
The Hilton Hotel Port Moresby hosted its 4th year Christmas Under the Stars donor drive program for the Cheshire Disability Services last night in the nation's capital. The event procession is organized as a donor drive for entrants to donate cash or kind through purchasing raffle tickets for 5 kina to enter the event's venue. This will go to Cheshire Disability Services to share some Christmas cheer during this festive season.
The event commenced with several performing acts by the ever-committed Hilton Hotel Port Moresby departmental staffs. This was followed by other Christmas special items by local talents. The program saw drawing of raffle tickets after the presentation of each items and moments of fun in between, which saw the crowd interacting with each other through dancing, singing and others. Cheshire Disability Services PNG General Manager Vincent Hahambu shared a word of thanks on behalf of Cheshire Disability Services PNG to the Hilton Hotel Board of Management for this annual initiative of Christmas Under the Stars.
On behalf of the board, the management and staff, from within our hearts, thank you very much for supporting us. To the staff and management of Hilton Hotel, all the sponsors, the entertainers, and especially those of you who are here tonight, give yourself a very big Merry Christmas after my count of 2. 1, 2. Merry Christmas!
The event officially ended with presentations of awards for the raffle ticket winners, along with several other special item presentations. Lisa Puni, National EMTV News.
A new nursing college will officially be opened next year at Rumginai in Western Province in the Northlight District. Rumginai Nursing College will train more students to become health professionals to serve the people.
CHW is the name before, formerly known as Community Health Worker Training School, or Rumgenai will be changed into a nursing college status that will offer both CHW and Diploma in General Nursing courses in 2023. Staff members confirmed that all learning facilities are set to cater for student intake for 2023. These include dormitories for both genders, classrooms, a library, and the Rumgenai Hospital for practical lessons. First priority will be given to students of Western Province so that they can serve their own people in rural communities after completing their studies. It is set to take place in January 23rd next year.
Now I'm here at Rumgenai Health Institution, located 28 kilometers along the Kionga-Tabubil Highway. School administration advised that they are focusing on capacity building to meet Fly River Provincial Government's key pillar, which is effective health delivery services within the province.
35 students will be enrolled to undergo Diploma in General Nursing at Rumgena in January next year. Jim John, National MTV News, Kionga.
And moving overseas, Fiji's two main political rivals are locked in talks trying to form government. The neighboring nation didn't produce an outright winner.
It's been 5 days of waiting, and we're told that we will have to wait another 14 days as the management board, which is a 43-member of indigenous representatives from across Fiji, will decide for the three candidates from their party who actually won a seat whether or not they will go into coalition with the Fiji First Party, who of course formed the previous government, or the People's Alliance and National Federation Party, a coalition of opposition parties who have now claimed the majority of the seats at the end of these elections. What we're told is that there are non-negotiable terms, or demands rather, on the table that SEDELPA, the former leading opposition party, has given both of these suitors of theirs, asking for their partnership in this coalition. Amongst these non-negotiables is the creation of a Fijian embassy in Jerusalem, the protection of indigenous land rights, better economic and educational opportunities for indigenous people. Almost 58% of the voters who actually turned out in these elections have voted for the opposition parties, which numbers about 5 or 6. And so what that means is that people want a change. SEDELPA, who has been in opposition for 8 years, will now have to decide between the party they had did not work very well with for the past 8 years and struggled to compete against in the parliament, or a party that is made up of their former leader, Sitiveni Rambuka, who of course now heads the People's Alliance Party. So it's a major difference of philosophies. But what SEDELPA has told us, surprisingly, overnight, is that their view is the things that they want for the indigenous people of this country can be served by either party. It's which one of these parties will give them the power within the next government to make these election promises happen is how they will decide which way to go.
Seaweed is probably something you try to avoid at the beach, but a team of Sunshine Coast researchers in Queensland believe it could be Queensland's next big industry.
In Moreton Bay, an oyster farm is trying something new: seaweed.
In total, we farmed about 125 kilograms of seaweed, or around 10,000 sushi rolls worth.
Small plants are put into nets and attached to oyster lines, growing into a floating forest of seaweed sausages. In a joint project between the University of the Sunshine Coast and water provider Urban Utilities.
It's quite tough to grow oysters. It takes around about 3 years, and with climate change and increasing water temperatures, there's a lot more risk of operation around disease. So they were really keen to see if they could diversify into other products.
It could be Queensland's next big industry, used for more than just sushi.
We know that seaweed can be fed to cattle. There's even people exploring its use in sustainable packaging, so plastics.
30 million tonnes of seaweed is produced worldwide each year, and forecasts show Australia has the potential for a $1 billion industry within the next 2 decades. The 2-year trial has had environmental benefits too.
For every tonne of wet seaweed that we're pulling from the bay, we're pulling out about 1.5 kilos of nitrogen as well.
It remains to be seen whether large-scale seaweed farming would be commercially viable in Moreton Bay. But from little things, big things grow.
Violent protests continue in Peru over the ousting of the country's former president, Pedro Castillo.
This is a complicated situation in Peru. We've seen a week and a half of protests with bouts of deadly violence, as you mentioned. That death toll has now risen to at least 20. What happened a week and a half ago was Pedro Castillo, the leftist president, was ousted after he himself tried to basically stage a coup, according to the Constitutional Court here he made an address to the nation in which he announced that he would dissolve Congress and rule by decree. Now, that was apparently to avoid impeachment proceedings, which were happening on the same day. The Congress was already holding a plenary session, and they went straight ahead and voted, and overwhelmingly voted to impeach him. He then went on the run, apparently, leaving the presidential palace with the security detail, apparently heading to the Mexican embassy to seek asylum. The security detail diverted the vehicle, took him to the police station. He was arrested, and he was subsequently to be charged with conspiracy and rebellion, and a judge has given him 18 months of pre-trial detention. Now,
you're watching National MTV News. Trukai Sports is next. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. In a friendly trial match yesterday, the PRK Gulf ISO and the Mosby South Blacks development teams went head-to-head at the Mosby South Stadium. The aim of this trial match is for the coaching staff of the PRK Gulf ISO to scout a final squad ahead of the 2023 National Rugby League competition.
Both the PRK Gulf ISO Development Academy and the Mosby South Blacks Development Squad were given a total of 2 weeks to prepare for this friendly trial. As this trial match is aimed at identifying raw talents to participate in the 2023 National Rugby League competition, Mosby South Black coach Richard Bryan hopes at least 2 or 3 of his players secures a spot in the Gulf ISO final squad.
He got plenty all opportunity to all start, but all been like just start, all been play kind of friendly match on the Mozambique, all big blood, all intercity team them blows and Vipers, Dabaris, Galviso must say me gambla, one me blame now come na me play trials on the Mona, yes stop. So hopefully me got believe us at least number team 2 blow 3 blow mangi blue me gum, bamiamas.
The Mosby South Blacks club has been selected from 16 participating teams from the Mosby South competition, especially the players that have made it into the top 8 tier of the competition. Although this is a trial, Coach Bryan added that the players should give their best to their visiting franchise. Lisa Puni, Trukai Sports.
The Oceania Fights Promotions hosted its International Fight Night Championship last night at the Sir John Guy's Indoor Complex. Invited guests from Australia were led off to the stadium by former NRL star and former 3-times World Boxing Association champion Anthony Mundine. Australia bagged the main international bout of the night on forfeit, which was set to be contested between Andrew Asinga and Dims Gillis.
The Oceania Fight Promotion hosted its international professional boxing event last night at the Sir John Guy's Indoor Complex. The first bout of the event was contested between Smuti River and Nelson Kosipi in the 52 kg super flyweight division. This was followed by another 5 bouts where PNG professional boxers battled it out.
It was a 6-round away. I got a decision to give Aaron 3 years off. Indian to his home. He went on to lose the fight.
In the 6th bout, the event witnessed Joycelyn Nauni and Mary Gregg under the 76.2 kg super middleweight division with a duration of 12 minutes. Joycelyn secured the win for this only female bout of the night. Before the commencement of the 2 international bouts, Oceania Fight Promotion Managing Director and Promoter Ms. Marian Milley, in her speech, acknowledged the presence of former 3-times renowned World Boxing Association champion and former NRL icon Anthony Mundine for his visit and to witness this event here in Papua New Guinea.
This year was not really a good year, but I thank God that we could bring somebody special, a 3-times world champion, into Papua New Guinea. And I believe that Oceania Fight Promotions will continue to promote boxing in the country and get all the young street boys who are out there hanging around, come and join Oceania Fight Promotion, because I believe you have something special. You have the talent to fight, and you can prove that in the ring.
The main bout of the night saw PNG's Andrew Aisanga, nicknamed the Snake, and Dims Gillies clashed in the Battle of the Undisputed. Australia's Dims secured the victory on forfeit due to Aisanga sustaining cramp just after round 1 break. Lisa Puni, Chukai Sports.
Chukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Chukai Sports.
You're watching Chukai Sports. Moving overseas, Victoria Police have released pictures of people involved in a violent field invasion on Saturday night in the Ailey clash between the Melbourne City and the Melbourne Victory.
And Melbourne City fans had been planned to walk out of the Melbourne Derby match, but instead there were more than 150 people that had stormed the pitch. 3 people were injured, including Melbourne City's goalkeeper, Tom Glover. This all came about after fans complained about the decision to move the men's and the women's A-League Grand Finals to Sydney for the next few years. Authorities are yet to make any arrests, but they did warn that they will be looking to prosecute those people who were involved in the pitch invasion. We heard from the APL's CEO, Danny Townsend, earlier this morning.
Look, I think, I've never packed a balaclava to go to a football game, and I think that demonstrates to me that there were people in that stadium that were there to cause havoc, and they certainly did that. It was a dark moment for our game, but it's not going to hold us back.
That ends Chukai Sports. The weather report is next. Stay with us.
Chukai Sports. Chukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
Weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Southern region, Port Moresby, cloudy periods with rain at times. Daru and Kerema, cloudy periods with few showers and possible thunderstorm. Alatau, cloudy periods with few showers. Popondetta, brief showers, easing, then partly cloudy.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Monday, the 19th of December, 2022. From the entire news team, pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Gold Nuggets.